I remember the early conversations, and we would, like so many people do, go on Zillow or other websites and start looking at country house porn. We were looking in Connecticut, we were looking in East Hampton where we have friends, Hudson, other traditional havens outside of Manhattan. We realized that with both of our families being out here, if we were to go to some other far-flung place, we'd be seeing that much less of our families. This kind of solved all of our problems. We got our dream house, our community, and it's only 50 miles east of the city. And we could take care of our business and be home in time for sunset.
Summer wind came blowing in from across the sea.
How do we begin to tell the story of Summerwind?
The building of the house was such a saga. We were at a party and Tyne Daly came up to us and said, so guys, how's the house coming? We said, like, great. He said, it's gonna ruin your marriage. Oh, he said, no, we're gonna be fine. She said, oh yeah? Ask Danny DeVito.
So I know you're the one that got shot, but I'm hurting too.
And she walked away. Like, what does that mean? There's a kinship amongst anybody who's ever built a home or done a major renovation. Misery loves company.
I don't think we know anyone who has gone through a development project of any kind, whether it's a single-family home or the developers we work with in New York City or anywhere else. I don't think anyone comes out of it without being slightly scarred.
What you measuring?
There's always something.
Beach stairs, Mick.
Oh boy.
The house that we purchased on this site was owned by Mickey's mom. And that house was named by Mickey's mom, Mary O'Rourke.
That's not true, I named it.
You named it.
I did. She took credit, but I named that house.
Wow, see.
The summer wind.
This is a revelation.
Is it?
Well, nobody knows this.
Not even you, apparently.
Well, I forgot.
There she is.
And that's why, because there was some emotional attachment to the home that was previously here, we tried to approach this project as a renovation add-on.
Well, that's where we thought we were starting. We thought it was a renovation.
Right. And then we learned the hard way. The shift from the former house on the site to absolutely having to do something brand new was when the foundation collapsed in a massive rainstorm.
That was crazy. The old cinder block foundation had just completely collapsed.
That's when this became much more of an epic adventure.
Adventure is such a nice word. We had an immediate sense of comfort when we approached Setra Ruddy to ask them for help.
It really worked out so well because I guess we know one another well enough, and we have this. I don't think of you as just like clients. I think of you as friends, as kindred spirits.
Yeah.
And when you came to us, I thought, I'm honored to do this for you guys, because you came to us, you had this building halfway falling down the hill.
We had our issues.
Wait.
Just to clarify too, we never expected you to take on the project. We came to you with the plans.
Right.
Because we had
Friends,
look at this.
advice.
Yes. Offer
friends.
advice out there 50 miles east of the city. What do we do?
And you said, we'd like to do it. I'm like,
Yeah. Such a ruddy house.
The experience of going to their Soho office and sitting in the conference room, and they would pull out renderings and inspiration images. And they took us out of our comfort zone. They got us very much aligned with the fusion of the new and the old.
In our previous New York City apartment, not even in the New York City apartment we've been in for almost 10 years, but the one
Correct.
before that, you would paste the drawings
Yeah.
from Featurette onto the doors in our foyer.
Yeah.
And you'd be there sketching with a pencil and moving this over here, moving this over there, and it was like, oh my God.
As we got into the details of the house, we took inspiration from California Mediterranean, Palm Beach Mediterranean, Mediterranean, Vizcaya, especially for color and tone. Eagle's Nest, which is the William K. Vanderbilt estate in Centerport. Casa del Herrero. Every detail is just awe-inspiring. I know I have at least 1,000 photos in my phone of every tiny detail. And the Kennedy's house in Palm Beach, the Winter White House. Our friend who worked for the Kennedys, when he came to visit this house, without telling him, he said, "Oh my God, this looks like the Winter White House. I've been there. This is ridiculous."
Because 4 different boards have to weigh in when you have a waterfront property in Nisqually. So it took 3 years before we could even break ground, and then it took another 3 years to finish construction. And then when we got the C of O in 2018, then the design process for the interior started.
It was just a culmination of a lot of ideas, and that began to inspire the decor. And we knew that the things that would fill this house were not going to come from a retail store. It would be a search. I mean, some things came together very quickly, and some things took a long time, and some things are still not done. We were fascinated by the idea of a house built by accretion. To have a house that appeared to be collected over many generations, but not just from the inside, but also the exterior. And we realized the light is the star. The walls are just a canvas for light, and color is introduced into the rooms by the furnishings and the many, many, many textures. One of the inspirations in the house was we were watching Singing in the Rain, and we paused the movie and we took a screenshot and sent it to the architects. We were struggling over stair detail, and we sent them the columns, and it became a modified version of that. But we always think of Gene Kelly possibly tap dancing down our steps. In our collecting, it's not simply to possess things, but it's also to save them. People hear we have a player piano from 1927, they're like, somehow piano rolls keep finding us. I think we're preservationists at heart. They're the basic building blocks, like chairs and sofas and rugs. Those things take special consideration to the space and practicality. Practicality is not exactly something we excel at. So a Summerwind fun fact. When we were in the throes of the design process, we happened to be in London and we were staying at the Savoy Hotel. The Savoy is famous for its personality suites. We thought it would be fun to bring some of our own theatrical and musical heroes into the design and decor of the bedrooms. Well, we have to start here.
We have to start here. I suppose that in every life there is at least one, if not many, obsessions. And mine from a young age was Frank Sinatra.
Oh, orange, I think, is the happiest color.
The most important thing to note is that Frank Sinatra's favorite color was orange.
He was an avid painter. He did a lot of geometric paintings. Early in his career, he did a lot of clowns.
The sad clown,
Yes.
the clown that goes out to make everybody laugh, and then backstage, it's another story. It's a totally other reality.
But I don't think I've ever been cynical. I certainly have a strongly developed sense of the ridiculous. And I sometimes laugh rather flippantly at serious problems because I don't consider them all that serious. But that's not being cynical.
I've had practically a lifelong love and admiration for, as he was called, the master. Tom and I are habitual collectors. We both share a love of music and film and theater. Tom, in his obsessive days, collected everything Frank Sinatra. I, in my obsessive days, collected a lot of Noel Coward things, even before we had a house to put them in. He was an avid painter. He used to paint with Winston Churchill and a lot of other luminaries. His work defined an era. If you'll indulge me, and imagine a world in which Noel Coward was on the cover of The Inquirer.
Let's go see Peter. Come on. This room is the most, and Mickey has said to me, my husband has said to me, it's yet not enough.
It's not enough.
I think the long and short is that Peter Allen moved me to come out of the closet and be fabulous. Get the hell out of the closet and be fabulous, for God's sake.
When we saw this, we're like, is this too much? Is this too much? Yes.
When it was established that whoever gets a personality room, we decided that the 3 discs on the ceiling were going to reflect a lyric associated with each of those 3 people.
And also associated with the sea. On the wings of the morning with your own true love, sail away, sail away, sail away. That's from a show called Sail Away that Noel Coward wrote. Peter Allen, I could have been a sailor.
And the lyric on the ceiling is, I take pleasure in my quiet hearth and happy home.
And then the third is a nod to Sinatra because he didn't write the song, but
It had to be there.
It had to be there because the house is called Summerwind, and it's the summer wind came blowing in across the sea. It's not from across the sea, it's across the sea. That's what Mr. Johnny Mercer wrote.
It's been such an epic journey, but at the end of the day, making something into home is literally what we do. Once we were so far into this journey, we wanted this home to, as much as possible, reflect who we are, and is also so completely welcoming to give everybody that comes here a giant hug.
As we're building it, because our real estate brains clicked on and we kept saying things like, but for resale, we should do this. And then as we got further and further along, we're like, resale? Like this. I'm glad that we were able to separate that part of our brains to let the art flow and creativity flow rather than force a practicality on the house that really would have compromised some of the fantasy.